Welcome to the program. Hello. First, let me welcome you to the program. I'm delighted you invested in this, as I've seen the results that women just like you get when they apply the principles inside, and quite frankly, they're astonishing. Perhaps the most surprising thing, though, isn't the results themselves, but the way in which they're achieved. I'm sure you'll be familiar with plenty of fad diets and gimmicks, and may have even tried a few in the past, whether that's been low-carb dieting, Atkins, a fat-free diet, the baby food diet, cabbage soup, slashing your calories right down, or just relying on pills, powders, and potions to see you through, rather than real food. The thing about these diets, while you'd imagine they'd get results, seeing as for most of them, you're surviving on very little and making your eating plan extreme, is that they don't work. At least they don't work long-term, as you always put the weight back on once you've finished the diet. Plus, any weight that you lose is never pure body fat. You lose a lot of lean muscle too, and they can often have sickening side effects. That's where this course comes in. I know that eating and training to get a lean, sexy, slender physique is actually very straightforward. Through principles that are backed by science and evidence, this course will show you how you can get your dream body without using any of the drastic measures that are so often associated with weight loss. Whether you just want to lose a few pounds for a vacation, or you want to blast body fat and look like a cover model, or maybe even your favorite female athlete, this book is for you. It's divided up into several sections. Mythbusters. Well, we'll go through why many of the most common fat loss approaches just don't work, to help prevent you falling victim to them. The foundations of sensible dieting and training. Well, we'll look into the science behind losing weight and keeping it off. I know sensible and science aren't often words that are used to describe fat loss methods, but trust me, once you've nailed these, you'll see how easy dropping weight and getting an amazing body is. A comprehensive dieting section, in which we'll run through the fundamentals of fat loss nutrition, from the importance of calories right up to when you eat your meals for best results, and everything in between. Next, we'll touch on training, including the best types of cardio to do, why lifting weights is so crucial if you want the fastest results, and give you sample plans that you can follow to get going right away. Finally, we'll wrap everything up, recap what we've gone over, and discuss an action plan for you moving forward. I hope that by downloading it, you see how fast, fun, and stress-free losing fat can be, and never fall prey to another nutritional scam, fad diet, or overpriced workout DVD ever again. This really is the only female fat loss course you'll ever need, so strap yourself in for the ride and let's get going. The real truth about weight loss. Despite the science being there to show us what really works, so many female fat loss and nutrition plans are based around principles that don't deliver results and pseudoscience that just doesn't stack up. Women are typically told to do two things to lose weight. One, drastically slash calories. This is usually done by minimizing carbohydrate intake, cutting down on fats, eliminating processed foods and alcohol completely, and even banning whole food groups such as grains, gluten, or dairy. 2. Start doing lots of cardio, and we mean lots of cardio. The theory is that cardio burns calories, and so any woman who wants to drop body fat needs to pound the treadmill, take up jogging, dedicate themselves to evenings on the Stairmaster, or spend hour upon hour on an exercise bike. This isn't the case. You'll be amazed how little exercise you need once you're doing the right type of exercise, that is. Before we move on, and I go into how we'll get you to lose fat faster than you ever imagined, as well as doing it safely and sustainably, so you experience no ill health effects and maintain all the progress you make, let's just look at why the above methods don't work. You slashed calories and upped your cardio? Initially, doing this will bring about results. The weight on the scale will definitely go down, and you may even look a little leaner. This is because you've created a calorie deficit. A calorie deficit is where you're burning more calories than you're eating, So in order to survive and to have a supply of energy, your body turns to its stored fat for fuel. No matter what type of diet you do, you have to have a calorie deficit to lose weight. You can eat as healthy or as clean as you like, but if you're eating more calories than you burn, you won't lose an ounce. Even if you're surviving solely on chicken breast and broccoli, while it would be hard to overeat these, it's still theoretically possible to gain fat if you're not in a deficit. So you've been dieting for a few weeks and seen the scale move down, your clothes feel looser, and you might even have seen some changes in the mirror. But pretty soon, a few things happen. For one, your hunger levels will be through the roof. This is because typical weight loss diets restrict your food intake so much that you're ravenous almost 24/7. Combined with this, you'll also be getting huge cravings. Because you've probably banned most tasty foods, your body's pleasure sensors have gone into overdrive, and you're craving something delicious. Also, it's not just fat you'll be losing. Much of the initial weight you lose when dieting and training like the above isn't body fat at all. If you've gone the low-carb route, then your body's stores of carbohydrate will be significantly lower, which in turn reduces your water weight. Plus, because you're in such an aggressive calorie deficit, your body can only burn fat at a certain rate. And so instead of relying on fat for fuel, it's burning up muscle too. Now you might be wondering why muscle matters if you don't want to be a bodybuilder, but we'll cover that very soon. First, I want to talk a little more about how detrimental the common way of doing things is. So your diet's not going great, but how about the training? Cardio is fine for burning calories, but what you'll notice is that pretty soon, your calorie burn per session starts going down. Even if you try to work harder, you won't be getting the same results, and you have to go longer and longer to get it back up. This is because subconsciously, your body is trying to save energy, so driving your calorie burn down. Unfortunately, while often deemed safer than weights, this isn't true either. Cardio, especially impact activities like running, can create huge stress on your joints and lead to injuries, particularly overuse injuries such as tendinitis. Let me ask you this too. Do you enjoy cardio? I know they talk about runner's high, but apart from that, it's pretty boring, right? Even if you put a podcast on or watch something on the TV, it's not the best way to get your aggression out, relieve stress, and really make you feel like you're working hard and blitzing that stubborn body fat either, is it? Now, when you combine these long, drawn-out, monotonous cardio sessions with an extreme diet, things really start to go downhill. You may have lost some weight, but your body's wondering what the heck's going on. You've gone from feeding it adequate fuel and not exercising that often to slashing your calories right down and getting your cardio in every day. As it starts to burn off muscle mass, you begin to look skinny and drawn out. And while many women say they're not bothered about how they want to lose weight, provided they lose it, trust me, when you start seeing the muscle wastage and the lack of definition that come with the above approach, you'll change your tune pretty fast. The longer you diet like this, the slower your results get. Why? Well, that loss of muscle mass means you burn fewer calories each day. And by burning fewer calories, the size of your deficit reduces, meaning weight loss slows. To get around this, you have to eat less than you are at the moment. But remember those cravings? Well, they kick in hard, and it becomes almost impossible to stick to your plan. When the results are coming fast, depriving yourself and eating your same old bland, boring foods is bearable. But when the results aren't there, it gets so much harder. To combat such a drop in calories, your body also fights back with its survival mechanism. You might have heard this referred to as starvation mode. And while starvation mode itself is somewhat of a myth, there's a degree of truth to it, though most people in the nutritional sciences industry refer to it as metabolic adaptation. This is a process whereby your body starts to downregulate all non-essential functions, such as sex drive, digestion speed, and even the production of some hormones, so you can start to feel very lethargic and quite unwell. Additionally, you'll subconsciously move around less, and so will be burning fewer calories, making it harder to keep losing weight. Can you see a pattern here? In the end, it all gets too much, and you give in and binge. Maybe you're out for a meal with friends, intend on having a plain steak or a chicken salad, but spy the burger and fries on the menu and just can't resist, so you have this. It tastes so good, and you figure that you've blown your diet anyway, and so you go on to have dessert, wine, and then chocolate when you get home. And before you know it, you've eaten a week's worth of calories in just a few hours, and then you feel guilty. This guilt starts to form part of a vicious cycle, whereby you think to get back on track, you need to be even more extreme than you were before, with more cardio and less calories. But the same thing happens again, only this time the binge comes sooner. Each and every time you do this, you're making future fat loss progress harder and harder, as you're playing Russian roulette with your metabolism. You make your physique worse too, as you lose a combination of muscle mass and body fat during the diet, but put back on solely fat, no muscle when you binge or overeat. Now this is not meant to be a horror story. Far be it from me to try and scare you straight from the start. But I wanted to include this to outline how the way most women are told to eat and train to lose weight is just downright wrong. I also know there's plenty of skepticism out there when it comes to female fat loss, so wanted to show you how I'm not just another guru who wants to sell you supplements or get you onto an extreme eating plan. Lift for a lean body. We've got both the nutrition and training aspects of female fat loss covered in this book. People often say things like, it's 80% diet, 20% training, or abs are made in the kitchen. But in reality, it's 100% of both if you want to see the best results. In this chapter, I want to run you through a primer on the type of training you'll be doing, as well as how you'll eat, before we get into the nuts and bolts of each. As far as training goes, you'll be employing two forms, the first being weight training. Now, weight training doesn't mean that we're going to have you gunning for world's strongest woman, or trying desperately to increase your bench press 1 rep max. Nope, what we'll be doing is using different forms of resistant training, be it free weights, barbells and dumbbells, machines, or your own body weight to create a workout. Plenty of women are discouraged from weight training as they think they're going to bulk up and look manly. This isn't the case at all. One of the main factors in building muscle is a hormone called testosterone. It's the main male sex hormone, and women only have around 10% of the amount that men do, so adding muscle is much harder. That's not to say you won't add any muscle whatsoever, but you certainly won't look too big. The type of training we'll do has the main emphasis on burning calories and shaping your physique to make it look more feminine and to increase tone and definition. Lifting weights and having more muscle also increases your metabolism, which means you burn more calories every minute of every day, and so can eat more while still dropping fat. I'd say that's a win in anyone's book. The second type of training you'll be doing is HIIT, high-intensity interval training. This is cardio, but it's not cardio like you're used to. The beauty of HIIT is that it's very short but extremely effective. You can get a great cardio workout in as little as 10 minutes. It combines quick periods of very high-intensity effort with longer periods of low-intensity work. In the research, HIIT has been shown to be superior for body composition and also increases your metabolic rate for up to 48 hours after you've finished a workout. Combine that with the fact you don't need to do it for very long at all to see results, and that's the kind of cardio we like.